24. Going to be breaking down the main card. We got Julia Budd taking on Olga Rubin in a main event for the Bellator MMA Featherweight Championship. I really like Julia Budd to pick up the W here. We know that she's more experienced with a record of 12-2. She's fighting out of Canada. She's going to be the older fighter because she's up there in age, 36 years old. She's going to be the shorter fighter by 1 inch, being 5'8", but reach is going to be identical here. Her opponent, Big Bad here. She's 6-0. She's undefeated. She's fighting out of Israel. She's gonna be the taller fighter by 1 inch, being 5'9". She doesn't have that much experience. Julia Budd is gonna be by far the toughest fight to date for her. We know that Julia holds 6 decision wins, so most of her wins are by decision. She has high fight IQ. She's on a big win streak. And she's been around the game for a while now. She's fought Ronda Rousey, a former UFC champ. She also fought Amanda Nunes. She's back in Strikeforce, our current UFC champ. So she has solid experience. She holds big wins over Jermaine Demrandamy. So she's fought solid competition. And I think, overall, her experience should play a big role in her being victorious in this fight. We see that her opponent, Rubin here, 6-0. Most of her wins on her record are tied at 3 apiece. She holds 3 TKOs and 3 decision victories. Just got to go with the well-rounded vet, a woman who has more experience, even though she's older in age. I just think Julia is going to be the better fighter, and she should get the job done here with being more experienced. So my pick is going to be Julia Budd getting the job done. As we move on to the co-main event, we got Rafael Carvalho, a Bellator former middleweight champ, taking on Chidi Nukawani. Very tough fight here. We see that Carvalho is going to be the older fighter by 2 years, being 32 years old. It's going to be, 6'3", so it's Chidi here. Chidi's going to hold, a nice reach advantage going into this fight. And we know that Chidi is going to be the fighter with more experience with a record of 18-6. Um, Bang Bang, you know, has solid striking. He's mostly known for his Muay Thai. Carvalho, on the other side, is a former Bellator champ, and he's 15-3. He's on a 2-fight losing streak here. He lost to Machida, and he's also coming off of a loss to Gegard Mousasi, so he's fought high-level competition. He beat Alessio Sakaro and Melvin Manhoff. Most of his wins on his record are due to TKO. He beat Brandon Halsey, where he picked up his title in Bellator to become a champ. He beat Joe Schilling, so he's beat solid competitors in the MMA fight game. But no Kawani here, Bang Bang. Most of his wins on his record as well are by TKO. He's really struggled with submission fighters like John Salter. Pick up the submission victory. His submission defense isn't the best. It needs some work. He's been TKO'd 3 times, so most of his losses are tied at 3 apiece with TKO and submissions. But his striking is pretty much his strong point. He's fought solid guys like Melvin Gillard, a former UFC fighter, so beat Ricky Rainey, Gilbert Smith, so he holds big wins on his record. He's fought Andres Korskov, um, a former Bellator welterweight champ. So, he's fought solid guys. It's going to be a tough fight here. But I got to lean more with Carvalho picking up the W here. He's a former Bellator middleweight champ. I think he should be able to get the job done here. If the striking doesn't go the way he needs it, I think he could fall back in his grappling and pick up the W here. As we move on, we got flyweights. We got Christina Williams taking on Juliana Velasquez. We got Velasquez getting it done here right off the bat. She's 8-0. She's gonna be fighting Christina Williams 3-1, so she doesn't have that much experience. She's fighting out of Brazil. She's gonna be the shorter fighter, being 5'6" tall. She's gonna be the older fighter, being 32, compared to Christina's 29 years old. But like I said, man, I think it comes down to experience here. And Velasquez is going to be the more fighter who's fought in the game a little bit longer, being undefeated as well at 8-0. She's competed in Bellator before, so she's no stranger to competing here in Bellator. She's picked up wins in Bellator over and over. So she's a tough fighter here, and I think she's going to move on to being 9-0. Most of her wins on her record are by decision here. We see Christina Williams. She doesn't have that much experience, but she picked up a win in Bellator as well, so she's no stranger to competing here in Bellator. But I just gotta go with the fighter with more experience. He's been in the game a little bit longer, so my pick is Velasquez. Gonna be breaking down the last fight on the main card, which is the first one. We got Ed Roof taking on the one and only Strasser. We gotta go with Ed Roof getting it done here, man. We know Ed Ruth's coming off of a loss to Gracie. Doesn't have that much experience, but he has a lot of hype around him. He holds a record of 6-1. Finally coming off his first loss, so I know he's gonna be hungry to get back in the winning column. He's 28 years old, so he's gonna be the younger fighter by 10 years. He's gonna be the taller fighter as well, 6'1". He's training out of Jackson Links MMA. He's taking on a fighter straight out of Japan. We see that Strasser here. He's 20-7, and he has more experience. 38 years old. He's gonna be the shorter fighter as well. He has a lot of miles on him. Just think Ed Root is gonna be a lot quicker. His takedowns are gonna be there for him whenever he wants. Um, Ed Ruth, he has improved in his striking, and he's getting better with time. He's getting better and better every time we see him. Most of his wins on his record are by TKO. You can't sleep on his wrestling as well. He has very strong takedowns. He's physically a strong fighter. He's taking on, Strasser here. This dude's 38. He's up there in age. He has a lot of miles and a lot of fights. Most of his wins on his record are by submission victory. And, he's fighting Rising. And he's fought around pretty much around the whole Japan circuit. He's also competed in the UFC. So, he's been around the game for a while. He's fought Neil Magny. He's fought solid competitors. Picked up wins in the UFC as well. So this guy's a solid veteran of the MMA game. But I just think, you know, Ed Ruth just being younger, his youth is going to play a big role, and he should pick up the W. So those are pretty much my picks here for Bellator 224 main card. I'm only breaking down